Hey everybody, this is Adam from Tyrant CNC. Today we're going to talk about a new product that we introduced called the V-Signature Night Sights for Glock and Glock compatible firearms. What we're looking at here is a new set of night sights for your Glocks and your Glock pattern firearms that is a collaboration between Tyrant CNC ourselves and Night Vision. What we have is our custom craftsmanship that's poured into these night sights, and then we collaborate with Night Vision in the power of their night sights that they produce. So what we have here is the new V-Signature, and we're going to show you how to install it on your Glock. Let's get started. To get this install going, there's just a couple tools that you're going to need. You'll need a front sight tool, and then you'll also need a rear sight press. You can drive out the rear sights of your Glock without a press, but is much easier with a press. To start, we're going to take our Glock, remove the magazine, then we're going to make sure that the gun's not loaded, visually manually check, and then we're going to field strip our gun because we're only going to be working with the slide. We can set our frame aside, our spring, recoil spring, our barrel, so we just have our slide here. The first thing we're going to do is the front sight because that is the easiest. The front sight on the original Glock sights actually is threaded or screwed in from the bottom. So what we're going to do is flip our slide over, and on the inside of our slide here is a hex screw that's holding in the factory front sight. So we're going to take our front sight tool here. There's many aftermarket companies that produce these, so this is just something that you can look for on the internet. We're going to take our front sight tool here and unscrew this front sight. This should go pretty easily. We're already moving here, but it does have to be thread or screwed out a good distance. We're looking like 10, 12 revolutions. There already is the front sight screw that fell out. Now the front sight is still in the slide, but you should be able to just pick or wiggle this out. So this is our original Glock front sight. We're going to set that aside. Now we have our V-Signature Glock sight from Tyrant. This is going to be an all crafted metal sight, and we're going to unscrew the screw for this one, and then we're going to place our front sight into its little channel or groove up front here. We got that out. Now we can set this front sight into its hole or channel in your Glock slide. That should pop into place like so. Now we're going to flip it back upside down because we have to put that screw in. So if you can hold on to your front sight, set the slide on the front sight, then get your front sight screw in your tool, just like so. And then it has a tendency to want to fall out when we're going to flip this upside down, but we're going to give it a shot here. Put this upside down, and then just be gently screwing this in. You don't want to force it because we're not sure if that screw is landing in the hole it should be. I believe it is for us, but it could slip on you. So right now we have it bottomed out and screwed in here. This is not something you want to over torque with a wrench, a pliers. This is just by finger feel. So we've bottomed it out, but we still want to make it tighter than that. So what I'm going to do is just with 3 fingers, you don't want to give this the ugga dugga. You just want to use 3 fingers and tighten this up a little more. And that's all you need. So now you have a perfectly centered front sight that's glow in the dark with a yellow-green luminescent ring on the outside in our V-Signature pattern. So you are done with your front sight. Now we're going to work on the rear sight. The rear sight of a factory Glock sight is going to be plastic. This is functional for your factory gun, but obviously the V-Signature from Tyrant is a significant upgrade. You have a serrated rear blade, so that's going to be low glare, low vis. Then you have a chevron pattern on the front that is more grippy. So this is going to be a heck of an upgrade compared to just the chintzy plastic one that's on your Glock. So now as we get this out, we're going to transition to our rear sight press. The one that we are using is one that's produced by NC Star or Vism, V-I-S-M. This is super duper cheap, But honestly, out of all the ones that we've used over the years, this one works great for Glocks. So you don't need to spend $400 or $500 in a sight press tool. So what we're doing right now is we're moving these little bumper pads and this top one here out of the way because we're going to get our Glock slide in here. Then we're going to slide our Glock slide in, and we're going to tighten it down vertically from the top, so then our slide is not drooping or falling down, it's held in there. But then also we want to pinch it from the sides. So we're going to tighten it down from the sides. Now at this point, the slide is locked in and secured in place. So now we're just going to basically rotate or winch this rear sight out. And there's one important thing to note that's mildly an insider secret, but when handgun companies put in the rear sights of their firearms, they always put them in right to left, so you should drive them out in the same way they entered. We're going to drive this out left to right. So when gun companies put their rear sights in, they push them in right to left. So if there's any wiggle room, it's going to be on this right hand side. So we're going to push it out that same way. So we're just going to rotate this. You can see it's already moving. There wasn't a ton of friction or fight to this, which is good. We don't want to scratch anything. We don't want to have this be very difficult. And our rear sight is out. So now we're going to take this plastic factory Glock sight set aside. I'm going to center my little sight press back in the middle. And we're going to remove our slide because it's actually helpful to just push our rear sight in by hand as far as possible before we put in our sight press. So we got it pretty far in just like that, but now it's hitting a wall, it's hitting friction, it's hitting resistance. We're going to go back to our rear sight press tool to finish this and center this. So to do that, we're going to do the same process. We are going to pinch our slide left to right. Then we're going to squish it from the top vertically so our slide doesn't droop. We got it covered on 4 surfaces actually, from the bottom, from the top, and the sides. And now we're going to push in our rear sight a little bit further. If you can see this, we're just getting this centered up. And that is pretty dang close. We might be right there, so we're going to check our work. That looks pretty spot on. So right there you have your V-Signature Glock sights from Tyrant installed on the rear, installed on the front. The finish of our sights matches Gen 5 and Gen 4 Glocks very well. It's not an off black, it's nearly the exact same black as the slide itself. So that is a good look, and this is practical. This will improve your shooting. It has more utility than just standard Glock sights. So there you have it, guys. We took our V-Signature Glock sights that are brand new from us here at Tyrant CNC. We installed them on this factory Glock in a matter of minutes. This was very simple. It wasn't difficult. You didn't need like lubes, tapes, sprays, nothing silly like that. With just a simple front sight tool and a simple press tool, we were able to put these on in minutes. And you can too. As always, make sure to check out TyrantCNC.com. We have a lot of components that'd be great for your AR-15s, as well as innumerable different handgun models that you might own at home. We'll see you again next time.